Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode on Catch You on the Pip Side. Today, we're going to cover how to count points on Bitcoin. So counting points on Bitcoin is actually quite simple. It's easier than on Forex pairs because with Forex pairs, we're normally looking at the fourth digit after the decimal as the pip. But with Bitcoin, we are actually just counting the points as we would with any other whole number. So for every 10 pips within a Bitcoin price movement of $1, there's 10 pips in every $1 movement. So if you divide a $1 movement, which we'll call a point. So we'll say that $1 movement on Bitcoin's price is 1 point. And 1 point is worth 10 pips. And so it's actually easier to count points or pips on Bitcoin than it is on Forex because you're just using the whole number like we would for any other number. So for example, if you were selling Bitcoin at $38,387.19 and you exited the trade at $38,000, $38,089.26, how many points did you earn on that trade? So you're simply going to do the math between the bigger number and the smaller number to determine how many points you made on that trade. So in this case here, you were selling Bitcoin at this price here, $38,387.19, and you exited the trade at $38,089.26, which earned you 297.93 points on that trade. So you're very literally just counting it in dollar figures. Now, what you do need to know is how your broker counts points on Bitcoin and how much they pay you per lot size. So some brokers are going to pay you $1 per micro, and other ones are going to pay you only a cent per micro. So that's a big difference between the two. So you need to determine how your broker pays you for Bitcoin trades. So risk management. Really, what is the reason that you need to know how to count points? It's to ensure that you're using proper risk management on your trade positions. So you need to know how to count points in order to figure out your lot size because you need to know how many points are in your stop loss. You also need to understand it because your brokers, the same lot size on different brokers is going to pay a different amount per point, which is what I was just mentioning. So for example, one broker 0.01 might be worth 1 penny per point, and another broker 0.01 might be worth $1 per point. So that's obviously a very significant difference. So you need to understand how your broker works. And then also it's important to know how to count points because the more comfortable you are with counting the changes in price, the easier it will be for you to enter and modify your positions. So how do you calculate your lot size on a Bitcoin US dollar position? We're going to do some examples together. In the examples that I'm doing, I'm going to be using my broker, which is Fusion Markets, and your broker may work differently. Now, the way that I figured this out for myself is I simply just take some fake demo trades on my broker and I do the math. And honestly, if you just do the math for yourself, it's going to help you understand it so much more and at a more deeper level that you won't have to question it anymore because you'll truly know. So let's hit the charts and calculate what our lot size would be in these trade ideas. So I have a trade marked up here on a screenshot that I took of a trading view chart. So when we're looking at this, so we have our entry price, which is marked here on the blue line, and we can see where we decided to set our stop loss and where we decided to set our take profit. Now, the price change between our entry price and where we set our stop loss, we need to know how many points are in here. So when you draw your short position box, when you look up at the top left-hand corner of it and it says 1,202.80, okay, this is how many points are in that stop loss. Now you also on the bottom side get to see the green box, which is your take profit. And from entry price down to your take profit, this number on the bottom left hand shows you how many points are in your take profit. And we can also see in the middle what the ratio is between your stop loss and your take profit. And ideally, you want this to stay above 2. Now, it's important to note here that you don't want to try to get rich quick by over leveraging your account. You only want to risk 2% maximum per trade. And just remember that your goal is first and foremost to protect the money that you already have in your account. It is harder to make back money that you lost because now you have to play a smaller lot size because your account is smaller. So 2% of your account is smaller. And so now your lot size ends up being a smaller amount. So it becomes harder to make back the same amount of money that you lost. Okay, so don't try to over leverage yourself and get greedy. Just let the power of compounding work for you. But let's move on with our example here. So we can see from our drawings here, we can see that this stop loss has 1,202 points in it. So here's our example. So let's pretend that you have a $3,000 demo account and you are willing to risk 2% per trade. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your account balance and you're going to multiply it by 2%. That's going to give you your max risk per trade. You can risk less per trade if you want to, okay? So maybe you only feel comfortable risking 1% or even 0.5% per trade. That's totally fine, but you don't want to risk more than 2% per trade. Now the next step is you're going to take your max risk and you're going to divide it by the number of points in your stop loss. So in this example, there are 1,202 points in your stop loss. And also just don't worry about the numbers after the decimal. You just need the whole numbers because the numbers after the decimal change so quickly, you're probably not going to be able to grab an accurate, consistent number anyways. Okay, so in this example, there's going to be 1,202 points in your stop loss. So here's our calculation. $3,000 times 2% equals $60. This is your max risk. This is the most that you're willing to risk per trade. Then you're going to take that $60 and you're going to divide it by 1,202 points because this is how many points are in your stop loss. That calculates out to about 0.049, which is about 5 cents per point, but we actually don't want to round up because if you round up, you're actually going to now be risking more than 2%. So just drop the last digit completely and just stick with what's here. So now you need to figure out on your broker, what is equivalent to 4 cents per point on your broker. So if you have a broker that lets you play 1 cent per point, then your lot size would be 0.04 on my broker is worth 4 cents per point. Again, some brokers won't let you play 4 cents per point. Some of them might have a minimum of 10 cents or a minimum of $1. So again, the value for lot size varies from broker to broker. So you need to know how your broker works. Here's another example with a smaller account size, and we're showing some ideas on how to find how many points are in your stop loss. So there's a few different ways that you can figure out how many points are in your stop loss. One of the ways is to simply just actually do the math. So look at your entry price, look at your stop loss price, and calculate the difference between those two numbers. So I always find it's easier to use the biggest number. So in this case, the entry price is going to be higher than the stop loss price. So you would just go 34,542 minus 34,123, which equals 419 points. So there's 419 points in your stop loss on this trade setup. Now, another way to find this out is to use a long position box because this is a buy. So you can draw your long position box. You want to make sure that you put the center of the box or the middle of the box between the green and the red on your entry price. And then you want to extend the top of the box up to where your take profit is and extend the red box down to where your stop loss is. Once you have drawn your box and you put your mouse over top of it, it gives you the data that you need. So if you look down at the bottom left-hand corner of your stop loss, you can see that you have 419 points in your stop loss. So that's another way that you can do it. And then another way you can do it is to use a ruler from TradingView. There's a ruler on the side that you can use. On Bitcoin, it is tricky to get the exact measurement, which I'll show you on the next slide here, but it will give you a pretty good idea. Like your calculation is not going to be very far off. Okay, so here's our example number 2. So let's pretend you have a $1,200 demo account and you're willing to risk 2% per trade. So you take your account balance times 2%, which is going to be your max risk. Then you're going to figure out how many points are in your stop loss, which we just did. So we now know there's 419 points in your stop loss. You're going to go $1,200 times 2% is $24. Then you're going to take that $24 and you're going to divide it by 419. Okay, run to the bathroom. Okay, you're going to take that $24 and divide it by 419, which gives you 5 cents per point. So on my broker, 5 cents per point would be 0.05. And again, just remember that everybody's brokers are a little bit different. Okay, hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. My little guy just had to go to the bathroom, of course, right in the middle of cutting a video. Okay, so I'm just going to run through this one more time. So you take your account balance, which in this case is $1,200 times 2%. You're willing to risk $24 maximum on this trade. Then you're going to take that $24 and you're going to divide it by how many points are in your stop loss, which for this example was 419 points. This number is going to be different every time. The bigger the stop loss, the smaller the lot size. The smaller the stop loss, the bigger the lot size will be. Okay, so in this case, we have 0.057. Remember what I said about just dropping the 7 completely, don't round up. So you're looking for the lot size on your broker that's the closest to 5 cents per point. Now, a lot of brokers don't offer 5 cents per point. So if that's the case for you, this trade would just be too big for your account and you just would not be able to take it, because if you took it, you would be risking more than 2% of your account on that trade. So sometimes there's trades that your account just might not be big enough for yet, but over time you'll grow your account and then you will be able to take those trades. So this is another little example of a measuring tool that you can use from the left-hand sidebar of TradingView that you can drop onto your stop loss and drag it up to your entry price, and then it'll roughly show you. So you can see that in our example, we were at 419. And when I drew this, it showed me 418.35. And it was pretty hard to get it to drop exactly on 419. But this is still going to be a really close calculation. Another thing that's really important to remember is that every different broker, their price is different from chart to chart. So like if you're looking at Currency.com's chart and you're trading with Fusion, the prices aren't going to be exactly the same. So you need to make sure you're accounting for this in your trades. So if, let's just say there was an 8-point difference between your broker's price and TradingView's price, you would need to adjust your stop loss, your entry, and your take profit by 8 points. TradingView will take a little bit of time to learn. There's lots of different tools on TradingView, and eventually you'll figure out your favorite way to do things. Do you like to just manually do the math on your stop loss, or do you like to, oh, sorry, I'm going the wrong way here. Or do you like to use your short or long position boxes? What tool do you prefer for calculating it? And over time, you'll figure that out. And if you're looking, you can always look on YouTube for different tutorials on how to do things on TradingView. These days, you can basically learn anything from YouTube, which is exactly what you're doing right now. And another option is to use a position size calculator. Now, for US 30 and cryptocurrencies, position size calculators can be a little bit tricky just because every broker counts points differently and they pay you differently. So you might be on a calculator that tells you to play 0.05 and that's the right, that you think that's the right lot size for your account, but really maybe you don't, maybe you don't need to use this lot size because it's not correct for your broker. So that's a little bit of the risk of using a position size calculator. You still want to make sure that you know how your broker counts lot sizes for Bitcoin and how much you're getting paid per point to make sure that this number is the correct number for you. But this is an example of one Bitcoin position size calculator that you could use on a website called cashbackforex.com. So the best way to learn is to just do this yourself. Take some demo trades and figure out how your broker's lot size works so that you feel really confident that you know how to calculate your lot size and you know how your broker counts points and how they pay you. And if you're not sure, ask in one of our many communities. And everyone was new one time and we're all here to help you. So feel comfortable to reach out and ask for help as you need it. The spreads is another important thing. So the spread is the difference between the ask and the bid price. This is how the broker earns money. Every broker offers different spreads and commissions. So you want to shop around to see what works best for your trading strategy. If you're a scalper, you probably want the smallest spreads as possible. If you're more of a swing trader, you may care more about having a lower commission and a little bit of a higher spread. For example, on Fusion Markets, their spread on Bitcoin is normally somewhere around 3,000 when you look at it on MT4, when you look on your quote screen. But if somebody asked you, what is your spread on Bitcoin, you would say 30. And then just compare different numbers to help make it digestible to yourself so that they're maybe put into context. So if you know how to calculate your lot size on a Forex pair, look at the steps you use for that and apply the same steps over to Bitcoin. Or if you know how to trade US 30, look at your US 30 trades and apply those calculations over to Bitcoin and see how they compare. How are they different? How are they the same? And that might increase your understanding of this so that you really get it in your own mind. So good luck. I hope this video is helpful for you and I appreciate you taking the time to watch. For more free trading tips, make sure to check out my YouTube channel or subscribe below and we will catch you on the Pip Side.